And most people treat email like a one-way street. They broadcast, they announce, they provide value, but they never actually invite their subscribers to do anything meaningful. Like last week, I'm talking to this founder who's been sending weekly newsletters for 2 years straight. Good design, thoughtful content, open rates at a high 40%, and she's making exactly $0 from her list. But it's not about what she's sending, it's about what she wasn't asking for. And today I want to show you how to flip this completely to turn your email list from passive spectators into active collaborators who help you build better offers, multiply your reach, and yes, actually buy your stuff. And the best part is that you could implement this tomorrow morning, even if your list is tiny, even if you've been ghosting them for months, without writing another newsletter ever again. So here's what happened with Jess, the person I was talking about earlier. She was treating email like she was running a magazine. Every week, boom, here's your content. Hope you like it. See you next week. The problem here is that she was exhausted from creating all this content, and her subscribers were just trying to consume. They'd read, maybe click a link, and then move on with their day. And this is good if you have 3 years to build a huge email list, which not actually 3 years, 31 months is the average time it takes to build a substantial email list. So if you want people paying you $5 a month to read your newsletters, to make $60 a year per subscriber, you need 3 years to really put that together. And that is a nightmare to me. But what if you just have a list of 400 people and want to make 15K in the next 30 days? Well, I can't promise that, but I've done that with a handful of clients, and I want to show you how we achieve this. So first, we stopped thinking about email as content delivery and started thinking about it as a collaboration channel. Instead of, here's what I think you should know, it became, here's what I'm working on, want to help. The first email we sent with this approach is right here. So this is, okay, yeah, here's what the email is that we sent. So right here, that this isn't for everyone. I got this message from a client. So what we did is that most people would send emails to like a landing page or to book a call, which is a big gap to cross. And it feels like, okay, you're just sending the same email to everyone to bless them to an offer so you can make a bunch of money with not a lot of time and effort and have that kind of that email lifestyle where it's, hey, just send a few emails a week and make 6 figures in, 2 to 3 hours a week. That's not realistic. That's not how it works. It actually takes, it doesn't have to be impossible, but it does take a lot of structure and time to get to that point. But what we did here with this list that was unresponsive is we started off with this isn't for everyone, which really is a pattern interrupt because every other email tells you how great an offer is and to buy it right now. Second, we actually led with proof. Most people don't lead with proof. We're doing 2 things that interrupt the pattern, but this one actually proves we can do what we say we do. After this 1-2 punch, people are hooked. And we talk about like who this is for, what we're actually selling. So we want to really focus on what's the outcome we're going to get people in an appealing way. And what does it look like? We are giving them a system that has gotten over 1 billion views through free publicity. And here's what it looks like. It gets you on TV. You don't need a PR firm. You're recognized as a go-to expert, and you don't need to spend a lot of money on different firms or playing the whole PR game, which is a pain in the butt. Now the call to action is really interesting too, because we're saying not to buy anything, just reply to this email to see if it's a fit. But the whole point of this is we are using email to start a conversation where you can have people reply to you, not just to make it simpler for them to enter your pipeline or your sales funnel or continue the customer journey, however you want to describe it, but also you're able to have more price elasticity. So if someone books a call with you, or if someone goes to a webinar or sees your sales page, the only option is they can book a call, they can buy your offer, or they could just leave. They could ghost your call, they could leave early in your webinar, they could see your offer and dip out. Like, those are the options that you have. With getting replies, you have a lot more optionality because you're able to know people came into you with a problem. You can ask them more about their situation and then accommodate where they're at with what you're selling them, how you're selling them, and what the terms or even the price points are. So that's why this is so powerful. And there's a flywheel effect because the replies we got helped inform our next campaigns and products. So we literally offered what they asked for and got $1,000 from 4 emails that we sent out, iterating and going through this flywheel. So the lesson here is your subscribers don't have to, the lesson here is your email list doesn't want to be audience members. They want to be participants, but you have to invite them to participate. So I've been testing this collaboration approach with a bunch of different businesses, and I found 3 things that work almost every time. The first is a referral loop. So my client Dustin mentioned on our planning call that email is driving a ton of calls, and the only thing that could be better is having a list double the size, which got me thinking, what could be the fastest way to grow his list? So we sent an email that got referrals. Like imagine if everyone on your list invited a friend just like them to grow their list, to join your list. Now, most people might not refer, especially if you're just sending a one-off ask, but some people will send this out to a ton of people. And here's what we did. Now, the email is here. We just asked for a small favor and we say, hey, this is what we're doing. Part of this has to do with Dustin's personality and his voice, but it's like my business grows from referrals and word of mouth best. So if you know someone who's tired of like hustling and grinding and wants to build systems rather than chase trends, would you mind shooting them a quick email? And so what this does is I use this mail to link. So what we do is I can't link it in Google Docs. They click this in Gmail. It opens up an email with a blank sender like address. The subject is a website you might find useful. And then the text is have a look at this site. Here's the link. And what this does is it sends to a 404 page not found. Oh, wait, here we go. We don't want to click that link. We want to click here. So it goes to a lead magnet, which is how to create 5 steps to create a podcast guesting flywheel, a landing page with extreme value for an opt-in. So we're not just saying, hey, do you know anyone who wants to be on my email list? We're saying, hey, do you want people who want more leverage in their business? And we're sending to a specific choreographed like lead magnet that goes into an email sequence that gives even more value, leads to a phone call, has a ton of proof, is pretty dialed in. And we're sending this to people based off of how much they enjoy the brand and want to share it with their friends. So that's super powerful. And that's the second loop is the co-creation survey. And this one's my favorite. So instead of guessing what your audience wants, you can literally ask them to help you build it. But this depends on how you ask questions. You don't want to send a boring 20 question survey. You want to ask one specific question that reveals everything. And I like to go negative here. Like, what do you hate about growing your email list? Actually, like comment that down below. I'd love to hear your answers because I'm sure even as I asked that question, an answer popped into your brain. And another one I like to use is what's one big goal you're working on right now? So some people tell you to ask like big, open-ended, positive questions, but honestly, those are pretty person questions. And you know what I mean? If you ever had a friend or met anyone who's attractive enough to be out of touch with reality, that they've never like really heard the word no or gotten any rejection, so they can get away with saying the most out-of-pocket things. And big brands can get away from this too. They can throw out really like vague, open-ended questions and still get these love letters from strangers because of their status and goodwill. But for smaller businesses like ours, you can't rely on really being pretty. We have to be smarter. And we have to ask sharper questions that cut through a lot of that noise. So the prettiness comes in time. The smartness comes first. Anyway, these responses to these questions become your sales copy. They're exact words, they're exact problems. It's like having your market write your offer for you. Play number 3 is the momentum calendar. This is where you think of your emails like Lego blocks that build on top of each other. And so the way that I construct this is that Monday might be a case study, Wednesday can be a referral or a quick tip, and Friday can be a co-creation question. And each email serves a purpose, but together they create this compound effect where your subscribers get trained not to engage, but to consume. And for a deeper dive with samples, you can snag a copy of my new email cash flow playbook when you comment email below. Now, I know some of you are thinking, Zach, this sounds like a lot of work. I'm already struggling to send an email a month, but here's the thing. These collaboration emails are actually easier to write than traditional newsletters. So let me show you what I mean. With the traditional newsletter approach, you spend hours crafting the perfect piece of content, agonizing over every word, adding graphics, making it pretty, trying to be as tactically useful and accurate and helpful and engaging all at once. With the collaboration approach, you can get away with just sending a question and that's it. Like, here's an email I sent that got 67 replies. I say, hey, quick question. Do you do group coaching or one-on-one work? That's it. It took maybe 33 seconds to write, and it generated more engagement than any newsletter I've ever sent. So here's the ninja move now. Those 67 replies, they now became 12 new email topics, 2 product ideas or offer ideas, 2 testimonials when I solved their problems, and a bunch of new connections with my subscribers. And the email writes itself because you're not performing, you're just conversing. And so the bar is lowered so much, but it's still valuable and it's still incredibly powerful for your business. The big thing no one tells you about this approach is it compounds like crazy. So month 1, you're getting replies, you're learning about your audience, you're building relationships. Month 2, these relationships can turn into case studies, testimonials, and referrals. Month 3, you launch something new. More often, you take your offer and fix the messaging to sell what people actually want from you. And your offer practically sells itself because you built it with your audience, not for them. It's not email marketing, it's email partnering. So here's my challenge for you. This week, instead of sending another broadcast email, send a collaboration email. Ask one specific question, make it stupid easy to reply to, then actually read the responses and engage. Watch what happens, and I bet you'll be shocked at how many people want to help you build something awesome. All right, that's all I got for today. Stop broadcasting and start collaborating your subscribers and your bank account. Well, thank you. Peace.